Hi everybody, we got a video for you today. We wanted to go over some common questions we've been getting on our website via email and also on our social media pages about the car, and then also just go over a few things that we think you might have questions with when you first take the car out of the box. First thing we want to cover is when you first get the car, go ahead and take the battery out of the bottom of the car. Charge the battery. It takes about 30 to 45 minutes. This will give you a good time to kind of check out the car, familiarize yourself with everything, read through the instruction manual. When you are running the car, don't run the car completely dead. When the car starts to significantly slow down, go ahead and stop, shut everything off, take the battery out, put it back on the charger. Just don't want to run those batteries completely dead because you'll lose control and you could damage the car. On the radio, some of the AAA batteries do not come installed. They are in the box with the car. They are easy to install. Just grab the radio on the back side. There's a button. Just hit that. Battery tray pops out the bottom. Put your AAA batteries in. Plug that back in. You're good to go. You can turn the switch on. Make sure there's a light that comes on too. Make sure the batteries are installed correct. The car and the radio do come bound together out of the box. If for some reason it's not bound, just look through the instruction manual. There's instructions on how to do that, and we'll also post a video online. Also on the radio, there's two trim knobs right here. This is your steering trim knob, this is your throttle trim knob. They're very easy to access, but unfortunately that means that sometimes these do get bumped in shipping. So there's one thing we want you to know when you first turn on the car. We're going to have the radio on, we're going to turn the car on, and you're going to notice that we're going to have steering, but we have no throttle. And you'll notice this light blinking right underneath the hood right here. That means the throttle trim knob on the radio is not in adjustment with the speed control. It's very easy to fix. Just take the radio, throttle trim knob right here, and just rotate that knob slowly until the light goes out. Then grab the radio, pull full throttle with the trigger, and you'll see how the rear wheels keep going a little bit. Just adjust that knob accordingly till they stop rolling and the light goes out. And just check that again, and you'll be set. To do brake, you push forward once. To do reverse, you push forward twice. Also on the steering, there's a steering trim knob right here. This adjusts the steering as far as how it goes straight. So if your wheels aren't quite straight, when you first put the car on the ground, just roll the car easy with the throttle and just turn that knob until you get the car to go straight. The other one we want to cover real quick is this dual rate knob. It's a roller wheel right here. This sets the amount of steering that the front end has as you turn the wheel. So if the car has too much steering for you, just roll that knob back until you get it to where it feels comfortable with you and you're good to go. Another item we wanted to cover is a lot of people have been asking questions about the tires. The tires are rubber. They do have tread on them. They are very soft. We don't have any foam or anything in them. And we did that for a reason. One of them is the car is super light. So you don't get a lot of suspension movement, but the tire kind of takes up some of the bounce. But with that, with the tires really soft and pliable and everything, some of them do tend to have a little bit of a wobble when you first start out, and I'll roll this one really easy so you can see it. You can see how it just kind of wobbles a little bit. That's totally fine. Doesn't affect how the car runs. They'll kind of take a set as you run them. Even a really true tire, sometimes they take a set, you come back and they'll be a little bit wobbly. Don't worry about that. That's fine. Doesn't hurt the car. Same thing with the fronts. They kind of get their own spot where they really like to be. The other thing is the radius rods on all four corners and the panhard bars. These are tight from the factory on purpose. So if you take the shocks off and you push the suspension up and it sticks and it doesn't come back down, don't worry about that. That's totally normal. We made these tight so that everything is nice and tight, and then that way you got a good experience when you drive the car. If they're too loose, the car is just really, really hard to drive. Other thing is on the front suspension, the front axle, you'll notice that if you grab the tire and you rock it back and forth like this, it has some play in it. That's purposeful. We built that into the car like that so that the steering doesn't stick or you don't have any issues. The servos are pretty small in this car. They do have enough power for the car, but we wanted to make sure that there was no binding because that just really makes the car hard to drive. If you feel it's got a little bit too much play, just use the Allen wrench and just tighten this kingpin screw right here down. You can get it, tighten it down a little bit, and you'll know when it's too tight. When you rock the wheels back and forth like this, it won't move very easy at all. So just back it off a little bit and you're good to go. Same with the bushings. It does have bushings in the front wheels. They are not, like a bearing or anything, so they're a little bit loose. You can tighten the wheel nut down till it just stops rolling, and then just back it off till it spins nice and free, and that takes out some of it as well. The other thing in the rear end, the gears are really, really small in this car. So we made the mesh pretty tight. So you'll notice when you roll the rear end, it's not like a freewheel type feel. We did this on purpose so that as you guys are running the car, this will kind of wear itself in. The gears will get better and better and better as you run them, but we just didn't want you guys to have gears stripping out. I mean, there's nothing more frustrating than running your car and having a gear strip out. So cars are very tough, but you know, this is one area where we really made sure that we had some durability. So that's everything we wanted to cover in today's video. Please keep sending us your questions via our contact us section on our website, and we'll answer those. Just try to get back to you right away. And we'll also do another video later on if we get a bunch more common questions after you guys get the cars. Also, make sure you follow our social media pages. We're going to have a ton of option parts coming out for the car. Make sure you guys share your photos of your car when you get them, and photos of your track if you build a track, and you know, just let us know how everything's going. And thanks for watching, and enjoy the cars.